Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Esoteric Atlanta. Of course, my name is Bryce, and today we are going to be looking at the 8th tablet of Thoth's Emerald Tablets. This is the Key of Mysteries. If this is your first time on the channel, welcome. I'm so glad you're here. You don't necessarily have to start at the beginning because each tablet has their own theme. But if you would like to start at the beginning and see all the previous tablets up to this point, they will be listed down in the description box below under show notes. Now, as always, this video is going to be dropping at 8 o'clock in the morning on Monday, June 12th. And then I will be over on Aquarius Rising Africa at 10 o'clock a.m. Eastern Time, Monday, June 12th, to also have a live discussion over this particular tablet, or to start our discussion on this particular tablet. That's why I drop it on my channel a couple hours before, so you have a chance to listen to the reading, and then you can be more actively involved in the discussion if you would like. When we go on live at 10 o'clock, I love hearing what other people have to say about this really valuable information. As always, I'm using Doriel's commentary and his translation of the Emerald Tablets. You can find many commentaries and translations on these tablets. You can also get a free PDF of these tablets online without any commentary. It's totally free. Just Google it. Just Google Emerald Tablet, Tablet 8, the Key of Mysteries, and a totally free PDF will pop up for you. So you can have the material to reference back to. As always, I encourage you to have your own copies and to do your own reading as well, and to come to your own conclusions with this information. So with that being said, let's go ahead and get started. As always, I'm going to start reading from Thoth first, and then we're going to go back and look at Doriel's commentary. Unto thee, O man, I have given my knowledge. Unto thee I have given my light. Hear ye now and receive my wisdom, brought from space planes above and beyond. Not as man am I, for free have I become of the dimensions and planes. In each take I on a new body, in each change in my form. Know I now that the formless is all that there is of form. So this is so, we talk about this all this time on my channel, you know, because I'm the only KPJY authorized teacher in the state of Georgia. I have studied extensive Eastern philosophy, I've learned to speak Sanskrit. This is the crux of old spirituality. This is the crux of it. In fact, in the Yoga Sutras of Patanjali, which is a 5,000-year-old text, Patanjali basically says that man's suffering is because man doesn't know who he is. Man thinks that he is his identity. Like, I think I'm Bryce, but I'm not. I'm a soul. I'm a formless soul. And as we move through different dimensions, different densities, the form, the Shakti, the creation of the soul, the body is the Shakti, it's the expression of the soul, has to change to meet the nature of the dimension. So your soul, I mean, so many people are under this really wacko belief that when the Bible says the dead will rise in Christ, they actually believe that bodies are going to come out of the graves and be alive again. And I mean, that's a zombie apocalypse, boo. Like, that's not what you think it is. Because once the body dies, the soul vacates the body. It vacates the body and it goes on to its next destination. And so if you resurrect a body after the body has died, you're not going to get the person back. And if you resurrect a body without a soul, you run the risk of having another spirit drop into that body that's not the person you knew. So the soul and the body are different, and that's what Thoth is saying. So let me reread those first two verses again, because again, this is the crux. This is the crux of spirituality. You are not your body. You are not your identity. You are an eternal soul. The eternal soul is having a human experience to know itself. That's it. Unto thee, O man, have I given my knowledge. Unto thee have I given of light. Hear ye now and receive my wisdom, brought from space planes above and beyond. Not as man am I, for free have I become of dimensions and planes, and each I take on a new body, and each I change in my form. Know I now that the formless is all there is of form. Great is the wisdom of the seven. So the 7 chakras, right? We've talked about those in the last 2 tablets. So the chakras are what teach us about ourselves, which help us know ourselves. Mighty are they from beyond. Manifest they through their power, filled by force from beyond. Hear ye these words of wisdom. Hear ye and make them thine own. Find in them the formless. Find ye the key to beyond. Mystery is but hidden in knowledge. Know, and ye shall unveil. Find the deeper and buried wisdom and be masters of darkness and light. I understand what he's saying here, especially, it is said before, you need to reread these tablets many, many, many times to get deeper and deeper and deeper into the understanding of what Thoth is saying. That's the same with any really scripture or text. The more you read it, the more you're going to understand it on a deeper, subtler level. And also he says, find the deep buried wisdom and be masters of darkness and light. Well, that's what guru means. Guru means to transmute darkness to light. So be very careful of people who say they don't believe in gurus. They're telling you they don't believe in the idea that you can transmute darkness to light. Be very careful. People who say that want you enslaved to a darkness, a system of darkness. Okay? So that's just be very careful with that. Deep are the mysteries around thee, hidden the secrets of old. Search through the keys of my wisdom, surely shall ye find the way. The gateway to the power is secret, but he who attains shall receive. Look to the light, O my brother, open and ye shall receive. Press on through the valley of darkness, overcome the dweller of night. Keep ever thine eyes to the light plain, and thou shalt be one with the light. That sounds like a particular verse from the Bible. Psalms 23? Let me look here. Psalms 23 says, even though I walk through the valley of the shadow of death, I will fear no evil. All right, you guys. So we know that the darkness cannot create anything, only the light can. And this text is older, way older than the Bible. So we know that the 10 Commandments that the Christians have been duped into believing Moses wrote, by the way, the name Moses means a dark sorcerer, a warlock, came from the Egyptian Book of the Dead. The 10 Commandments are from the Egyptian Book of the Dead, which was written long before Moses, right? And this is the Emerald Tablets, which is another Egyptian book. And we see that same verse here in the Emerald Tablets. Interesting, isn't it? Again, a lot of people have been brainwashed to believe that the Bible is the Word of God. But out of all the spiritual texts in the world, the Bible is the only book that has a copyright on it. The Windsor family owns the Bible. You cannot get a copyright on something unless it's of your creation. So that tells you straight up that the Bible is not the Word of God. It is a creation of the dark cult, basically, to mind control you. But they took, because they can't create anything, they took information and verses from other works that were created by the light. So let me read that verse again. Deep are the mysteries around thee, hidden the secrets of old. Search through the keys of my wisdom, surely shall ye find the way. The gateway to power is secret, but he who attains shall be received. Look to the light, O my brother, open and ye shall receive. Press on through the valley of darkness, overcome the dweller of night. Keep ever thine eyes to the light plain, and thou shalt be one with the light. Man is in process of changing to forms that are not of this world. Grows he in time to the formless, a plane on the cycle above. Know ye, and ye must become formless, before ye are one with the light. So you got to know that you are not of your body. And the body is changing. It does change as we go through this evolutionary change of our consciousness. The Shakti, which is the expression of the body, has to change with that consciousness. It has no choice because the two are in a tango with each other. That is why readings like the Hathor material that we've done and other readings like the yogas express heavily that exercise should be involved in your spiritual journey, because your body is going to have to go through the change with your consciousness. And if the body is not prepared to do that, not fit enough to do that, then you're in deep shit, basically. So that's kind of the hard, cold truth of it all. All right. List ye, O man, to my voice, telling of pathways to light, showing the way of attainment, when ye shall be one with the light. Search ye the mysteries of earth's heart. Learn the law that exists, holding the stars in their balance by the force of the primordial mist. Seek ye the flame of the earth's life, bathe in the glare of its flame. Follow the three-cornered pathway until thou art a flame. Right? We see this in this tablet along with other works. The flame being the soul or the spirit. It's often described that way in multiple scripture. Speak thou in words without voice to those who dwell down below. Enter the blue litten temple and bathe in the fire of all life. Know, O man, thou art complex, a being of earth and of fire. Let thy flame shine out brightly, be thou only the fire. So you're stuck. The soul, we saw this in the last tablet where he compared you to being stuck in a mountain. The flame of the soul is stuck within the confines of the body. So focus more on that movement of flame inside of you. Be aware of that movement of spirit, and know that the body is just temporary, right? So again, this is reiterating everything we see in the Yoga Sutras, all that kind of stuff. Okay, and once again, I apologize. Again, if you're new to this channel, I live right in the middle of downtown Atlanta, and they are building a huge condo complex, skyscraper right beside me. So if you hear banging around, that's what's going on. Wisdom is hidden in darkness when lit by the flame of the soul. Find thou the wisdom to be light born, a son of light without form. Seek thee ever more wisdom. Find it in the heart of the flame. Know that only by striving can light pour into thy brain. Now I have spoken with wisdom. Listen to my voice and obey. Tear open the veils of darkness. Shine a light on the way. So wisdom is hidden in darkness. Once again, just reiterating everything we say every single day here on this channel for the most part, and on Aquarius Rising Africa. You can't transmute energy unless you actually face your darkness, face your shadow side. You're going to have to face yourself. Okay. And that's what he's saying. You've got to go into yourself, into your own shadow side, into those lower feelings of abandonment, betrayal, jealousy, anger, whatever that is. Work on it. Find the reason why that's happening. Heal that in order you then to release it to the light, so you're not weighed down by those heavy vibratory patterns. Speak I of ancient Atlantis. Speak of the days of the kingdom of shadows. Speak of the coming of the children of shadows out of the great depth where they called by the wisdom of earthmen, called for the purpose of gaining great power. So once again, we've said this in many of the tablets. Thoth goes back and forth between talking about the micro and the macro. But we know that everything happening in the macro is a reflection of the micro. So we know that Atlantis fell. And again, Thoth is writing this directly after the fall of Atlantis. And what happened with Atlantis is basically what's happening right now. Most of us on the earth right now, we're here for the fall of Atlantis because Atlantis fell. We basically had a round trip ticket to come back to complete the karma of that fall. And again, he talks a lot about the brothers of darkness and the brothers of light. Darkness can't create anything. It can only steal from the light and invert it or mimic it. And when Atlantis fell, it was the darkness that won out, and that's why it fell and collapsed, because you can't create anything with darkness. And we're seeing that happen again on our world, not just in the normie world, but we also see in the truther world. There is way more evil and corruption and just pure nastiness in the truther world, more ego in the truther world than there is with the normies. So we even see it in our own communities. And so we have to be aware of the children of shadows, of the darkness that brought in people, organic portals, as Mr. Fox talks about. And if you don't know what an organic portal is, I will put those episodes down in the description box below so you can educate yourself on that, in order to distract the light from what it has to do. Again, the truther community is ripe with organic portals. Right. So here's another warning. Like this has happened before, where we started to follow a leader. Either we're following a talking head on mainstream media, or we're following a talking head in the truther community, and we're not actually doing our work. Right. So he's giving us a warning right here. Like, don't make the same mistake twice. Fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So let me read that again. Speak I of ancient Atlantis, speak of the days of the kingdom of shadows, speak of the coming of the children of shadows. Out of the great depth they were called by the wisdom of earthmen, called for the purpose of gaining great power. Far in the past, before Atlantis existed, men there were who developed into darkness, using dark magic, calling up beings from the great depth below us. Forth came they into this cycle. Formless were they of another vibration, existing unseen by the children of earthmen. So the pre-Adamic beings, the 50% of the human population is an organic portal. They're pre-Adamic beings. So pre-Adamic means before the story of Adam and Eve. Whatever you feel about the story of Adam and Eve, they were put here by higher density negative beings. Now they're called organic portals because they don't have their upper chakras. They only have the 3 lower ones. right? So they come to this earth. They don't have soul contracts. They don't have a dharma. They don't have a destiny. They're just popping around the earth, and they're pretty harmless until they're used by a fourth density negative person. So they're organically a portal. So they get possessed by a fourth density negative being to cause destruction, or like a remote control car. So if you're on the path of light, of learning, of growing, of understanding yourself, more and more and more and more organic portals are going to be attracted to you to try to take you off your path. I've had many organic portals in my life, especially in the truther community. I'm dealing with a pretty big one right now. I'm handling it off camera with authorities at this moment. That's all I'll say on that. But they are ripe in this community. And so you need to educate yourself, because knowledge is power, knowledge protects. So Thoth is confirming what the Cassiopeians in the Law of One have said, that these beings were put here to be manipulated and used by the fourth density negative beings, what we call demons or dark lords, in order to try to feed off of the children of light, or pull the children of light off their path, right? Because if they can get you to depolarize, and they can get you off your path, it gives them more power. Now, if you resist an organic portal, if you stand up to one and you get it out of your life or do what you got to do, you depolarize their master instead. So this is super important information to know. And again, I will put the conversation, the original conversation I had with Mr. Fox or about organic portals down in the description box below with you guys, if this is something new for you, because it's really important. So let me read that again. Far in the past, before Atlantis existed, men there were who delved into darkness, using dark magic, calling up beings from the great depth below us. Forth came they into this cycle, formless were they, of another vibration, existing unseen by the children of earthmen. So I will also say too, when we talk about polluted bloodlines, we're talking about organic portals, right? So there's no bloodline that's better than another bloodline when it comes to O negative, O positive. They all have different attributes to them. So, I'm O negative, so that's going to give me certain personality qualities, or so like my boyfriend's A negative, so he has certain attributes that are of the A antigen that kind of define his personality, and it's just an experience, right? So the soul agreed to that just to have his particular experience. So that's not what we're looking for when it comes to bloodline. What we're looking for is souled people, S-U-L-E-D, not sold as in sold to something, but S-O-U-L-E-D, souled, someone with a soul, a souled person is the pure bloodline. An organic portal is a polluted bloodline. That's the big difference, okay? So when people talk about bloodlines, we're not talking about rhesus negative or rhesus positive. I do think rhesus negative. We know the O negative was the Atlantean bloodline, but it doesn't matter. The A negative A's, I believe, is Palladian. Like there's all these, it's just like either having red hair, blonde hair, brown hair, blue eyes, green. It's just a different aspect of your makeup, right? It's part of your prakriti. It's not permanent. Every life you live, you have a different blood type, right? Just like you have a different race, different hair color, different gender. We're talking about people with souls versus people who are pre-Adamic and are not fully souled. So they have just the lower three chakras. That's the truth about bloodlines, guys. So don't let people fool you into thinking that it's a particular O negative line or AB negative line. No. That's got nothing to do with it. You're either an organic portal or you have a full soul. People who are organic portals will not be moving forward with us. They can't. There's no way they can. They'll have to go back to third density. There is a way for them to eventually become fully souled. The Law of One, the Cassiopeians get into this. It's not our responsibility to do that though. So I'll leave it at that. That's a totally different topic. So again, I'll put all those videos down below if you missed it. All right. Only through blood could they have formed beings. Only through man could they live in this world. Right. So that goes back to, again, the organic portals being put on this earth to entice souled beings to come to planet Earth, to entice them. And we know the Atlanteans were part human, part extraterrestrial. They mated with the pre-Adamic beings and created us. We're all a descendant of the Atlanteans, right? So they needed us. They needed to lure souled beings to planet Earth to mate with them in order to create an existence. In ages past, were they conquered by the masters, driven below from the place whence they came. But some there were who remained, hidden in spaces and plains unknown to man. Lived they in Atlantis as shadows, but at times they appeared among man. When the blood was offered, forth came they to dwell among men. Reminds me of Tartaria, right? So we had the 1,000 Years of Peace already. Big shocker if you didn't know that. Everything in our history is wrong. It's Tartaria. Look it up. So then they came back, right? So they were kind of held, but they were here. In the form of man moved they amongst us, but only to sight were they as men. Serpent-headed when the glamour was lifted, but appearing to men as men among men, crept they into councils, taking forms. This is also talking about the reptilians too, which are the overlords of the organic portals. And no, I don't think most organic portals are aware they are organic portals. And so as I say, as we're doing a series of narcissism on our this channel as well. I say our channel because I share it with you guys. I believe, in my opinion, that every organic portal is a narcissist, but not every narcissist is an organic portal. And we can get more about that. I do want to do a show with Mr. Fox over narcissism and organic portals. But so yes. So she's talking about the reptilians walking among us, or he is talking about the reptilians walking among us and how they are controlling the organic portals to try to destroy those of us who actually have souls. All right. Slaying by their arts the chiefs of the kingdoms, taking their forms and ruling over man. Only by magic could they be discovered. Only by sound could their faces be seen. Sought they from the kingdom of shadows to destroy man and rule in his place. A lot of people now are starting to see more shapeshifting, even on YouTube. There's truthers who are having a hard time holding their shape, right? There's one in particular that many people have sent me pictures of, and she's definitely Draco. She's one of the bigger channels, and she has shapeshifted a lot on camera, but that's not saying that she wasn't doing that before. It's just that you can now see it because you've been working on yourself. You've been confronting this stuff. And so the magic in you is allowing you to now see what you couldn't see before. Amazing grace. I once was blind, but now I see, right? You're starting to see more of the truth about yourself. Part of spirituality is learning to see the truth through the illusion. First and foremost, you have to see your own truth through your own illusion before you can see it in the macro world. So no, it's not that this person was just holding it in better before. It's that you're able to see it better now. And I love how Thoth really does refer to us and our essence as being magic, because we are magic, right? All right. But know ye the masters were mighty in magic, able to lift the veil from the face of the serpent, able to send him back to his place. Came they to man and taught him the secret, the word that only man can pronounce. Swift then they lifted the veil from the serpent and cast him forth in the place among men. Tartaria. Yet beware, the serpent still liveth in a place that is open at times to the world. Unseen they walk among thee in places where the rites have been said. The portals. Portals are not all bad, but they can be used. It's like a doorway. A good person can come through a doorway and a bad person can come through a doorway, right? Again, as time passes onward, they shall take on the semblance of man. Called may they be by the master who knows the white or the black, but only the white master may control and bind while in the flesh. So the people of you as a person of the light are the one that can say no and put a boundary up and basically, as I said, depolarize them. Seek not the kingdom of shadows, for evil will surely appear, but only for the master of brightness shall conquer the shadow of fear. Know ye, O my brother, that fear is an obstacle great. Fear is false evidence appearing real. Be master of all in brightness, and the shadow will soon appear. Hear ye and heed my wisdom. The voice of light is clear. Seek not the valley of shadow. The light will only appear. List ye, O man, to the depth of my wisdom. Speak I of knowledge hidden from man. Far have I seen on my journey through space-time, even to the end of this cycle. Found I there the great barrier, holding man from living this cycle. I glimpsed the hounds of the barrier, lying in wait for he who would pass them, in the space where time exists not. Faintly I sense the guardians of cycles, move they only through the angles. Free are they not from the curved dimensions, strange and terrible are the hounds of the barrier. Follow they consciousness to the limits of space. Think not to escape by entering your body. For follow they fast the soul through the angles. Only the circle will give ye protection, save from the qualls of the dwelling angels. All right, so he talked about in a couple of tablets before, he talked about creating a protective circle of yourself. And so this is referring back to things we've already covered. I believe that was in tablet 6 or 7. It was either 5, 6, or 7. Those are all down in the description box below. He's talking about how to keep yourself space keep your space protected, because some of the dark things that are yours and some of them aren't, right? So when we work on our own shadow side and we heal it, we're not attracting dark beings. So Jessie Zaboter said this to me, and Jessie and I communicate a lot off air, and we have for like 3 years, and she has helped me a lot with a lot of the attacks on me, and she really helped me with this. So like, if you find yourself going into a low vibrational place, like you're having a bad day and you find yourself feeling betrayed or hurt, that is how the darkness gets in. So if you're sitting in your wound and you're festering in it, you've brought yourself to a low vibration, and then the darkness sees that as an invitation and a consent to come in. So what you need to do, as he's saying, is not dwell in the shadows, but learn the wisdom through the darkness. So saying, okay, I know I have betrayal issues, I know I have abandonment issues, let me work on them instead of festering in them, so I can heal them so they're not so heavy within me. So again, I can protect myself from the manipulation of the dark. And again, when Jessie Zaboter, she just recently, like as in like last week, reminded me of that to help me stay grounded. And so that was such great advice she gave me to really, also say, like in your prayers, I say that I revoke any permission that the darkness thinks it has to use my wounds as an entry point. I revoke that permission. So my wounds are not open. There's no consent there for the darkness to use it as an entry point. So that's something that helps you in your path, and I hope it does. But that's from Jessie Zaboter. Once in a time past, I approached the Great Barrier and saw the shores where time exists not. The formless forms of the hounds of the barrier, I, hidden in the mist beyond time, I found them. And they, scenting me afar off, raised themselves and gave the great bell cry that can be heard from cycle to cycle and move through space towards my soul. Fled I then fast before them, back from time's unthinkable end, but ever after me pursued they, moving in strange angles not known to men. I, on the gray shores of time-space, and I found the hounds of the barrier, ravening for the soul who attempts from beyond. Yeah, the battle's continual. It's not, even when and Mr. Box has talked about this, even when we get to fourth density positive, there's still going to be a battle. The veil's just going to be gone. So we're going to be able to work together better, because we're going to be able to see the fourth density beings for who they really are. We're not going to be confused thinking they're truthers or thinking they're good guys. We're going to be able to see clearly who is who, right? It's going to be more of an even playing field. Fled I through the circles back to my body, fled and fast after me they followed. I, after me the devourers followed, seeking through the angles to devour my soul. I, know ye man that the soul who dares the barrier may be held in bondage by the hounds from beyond time, held till this cycle is completed and left behind when the consciousness leaves. So yeah, that to me means people who aren't working on themselves and aren't going to ascend, they're going to have to just stay here and be in a third density realm again, because you're held in bondage. You are the one, by going into your body, by doing your work, you are the one that frees yourself to ascend to a higher density. Enter I my body, creating the circles that know not angles, created the form, and from my form was formed, made my body into a circle, and lost the pursuers in the circles of time. But even yet, when free from my body, cautious ever must I be, not to move through the angles, else my soul might never be free. Know ye the hounds of the barrier, move only through the angles, and never through the curves of space. Only by moving through the curves can ye escape them. For in angles they will pursue thee. O man, heed my warning, seek not to break open the gate to beyond. Few there are who have succeeded in passing the barrier to the greater light that shines beyond. For know ye ever the dwellers, seek such souls to hold their thrall. Kind of reminds me of how like they warned us not to get on spaceships because they're tricking you. Like, you can't escape this. Like, don't try to escape this. You got to do your work and get through this honestly. Listen, O man, and heed my warning. Seek ye to move not in the angles, but curves. And if while free from the body, thou hearest the sound like the bay of the hound, ringing clear bell like through thy being, flee back to thy body through circles, penetrate not the mist before. This also has a lot to do, I think, with like astral travel as well, like when you leave your body. And that's not something like hypnosis and astral travel. I know I do it. Like I know I can do that. I've been doing it. It's not something that I really want to be doing right now, nor do I want to be going under hypnosis right now, because the battle is so intense. And when your body is left available, you have guides around you, but they also get tired. And so when you're off astral traveling, or if you're under hypnosis for a long time, your spirit guides are getting really tired. And that's when they can come in and switch out a soul. That's when they can take over a body. Or as it says, if you don't have to have an operation right now, please put off any elected operations, because they can also do that under amnesia as well. So that's kind of like, he's kind of warning you that there are beings around you that you can't see. So don't leave yourself vulnerable. We're in a war right now. Do not leave yourself vulnerable and open. When thou hast entered the form, thou hast dwelt in it. Use thou the cross and the circle combined. Open. So he talked about, again, the circle and moving the different areas in a previous tablet to keep your space safe. And I clean my space every day. And I know a lot of people I work with, other YouTubers, also like sage. We sage our spaces. We sage before we film, just making sure that we ask for our guides to come in. We ask for assistance, just to make sure that we have what we need to protect our equipment and ourselves. Under the world and thou shalt be free. Only the one who of light has the fullest can hope to pass by the guards of the way, and then must be moved through the strange curves and angles that are formed in direction not known to man. List ye, O man, and heed my warnings. Attempt not to pass the guards in the way. Rather should you seek to gain of thine own light, and make thyself ready to pass on the way. Light is thine ultimate end, O brother. Seek and find ever the light on the way. Yeah, you can't bippity boppity boo your way into salvation, basically, is what he's saying. You have to do the work. There's no get out of this quickly. There's no, you just got to sit down and do the work. No one can do it for you. Be weary of these people who say, I have the answers. I can do this for you. You know, yeah, just be careful, because that's a trap. All right. So before we get into Doriel's commentary, we are going to take a quick word from our sponsor, Asea. If you are like me, then you love a good face mask. No, I kid you not. I have been obsessed with face masks since I was a teenager. I have memories of being in high school and having slumber parties with my girlfriends and trying different face masks. This has literally been something that I have been obsessed with my whole life. Now, the problem with me is that I have very dry skin. So I have to be very, very careful with the type of face mask that I use. Otherwise, it will dry my skin out too much, and that itself starts to cause some problems. Well, of course, Asea just released its own face mask. It ran for a trial run last month, and it looks like it's potentially here to stay. Now, of course, once the mask was released, they were going to be doing the mask, I had to order one just so I could try it out. Because again, girl loves a good face mask. I was a little bit nervous. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I was a little bit nervous that it might dry my skin out. But nonetheless, I thought, what's the harm in trying? I've loved all of their face care system I've been using up until this point. So let's just try the mask. Well, true story. I got the mask in last week. And so that night when I got it in, I washed my face. I put this mask on, which you leave on for about 10 minutes. Set my bath up, my nightly bath, put my Epsom salts in, all that kind of stuff, grabbed my murder mystery book. I'm always reading some murder mystery book. Got in the bath, soaked for like an hour, washed the face mask off, got out of the bath, did the rest of my skin routine, went to bed. Well, the very, very next morning, I was in the kitchen with my boyfriend. We were still in our pajamas, super early in the morning, and he reached over, touched my face, and gave me a kiss. And he noticed that my face felt tight. Like I had like a facelift or like Botox overnight. Now, he was not aware that I had done the face mask. He didn't even know that it had come in the mail the day before. And I said, interesting. I literally just did the Asea face mask. And I went to look in the mirror, and it had appeared overnight that my skin had tightened. Now, yes, I am 40 years old, so I'm kind of at that hinge age, right? I'm still young, but I'm moving into middle age. And so I am even more aware now about what I do to my skin as I enter into the latter part of my life. Since that first time using it, I've used it a couple of more times. And absolutely, I am feeling a difference. It really feels like I have had just someone pull the skin back. It's unbelievable. And so you can order the mask on its own. I actually have a couple more masks coming to me because I wanted to stock up. That's how good this mask is. Or you can get the bundle along with the brush. Personally, I have not used the brush, nor did I order the brush. I just use my hands. Or if you want, you can order a bundle of either your personal spa day with the lotion, which I do have this lotion as well, or you can come over here, the ultimate gift for mom. We know Mother's Day is coming up. Or if you just want to send your mom a gift because you know what? You wouldn't be here without your mama. Or you could actually just order this for yourself. But the mask, again, the mask is really something special because it really, after the first use, I noticed a difference, and so did my boyfriend. So if this is something that you're interested in, please look down in the description box below and you will see a link to the Asea website where you can read more about the mask or all the other products that are offered by Asea. If you would like more information on Asea, what the products can do for you, what products would be best for you, how to get Asea at a wholesale price, then you can text BRICEinfo, B-R-I-C-E info, to 321-216-8047. Again, that's BRICEinfo to the telephone number 321-216-8047. If you are texting from another country, please make sure you add +1 321-216-8047. Not sure if the mask is available in other countries just yet. I know they're planning on releasing it to other countries, but some of the other products are definitely available in other countries. So please just text BRICEinfo to the number listed below. Again, all that information is down in the description box. So let's see what Doriel has to say. I'm kind of interested to see what his commentary is because I know he wrote this long before we entered into the age we're in now where we know a lot more. So let's just see what he's about to say. Thoth had attained the power of mastership, and with it the ability to enter any interlocking world and there take on form, and also the ability to enter the inner spaces in the fourth dimension. In symbols, the keys of wisdoms are formed. Only those who search for the hidden meanings find the way. There is a constant change and evolution in man, both as a material and spiritual, as he develops in consciousness, which is formless and unlimited. Finally, he attains to that cosmic cycle where nothing material manifests in form. And the keys, a lot of times I believe are talking about your damn body. Like your body is the key. Your chakra system is the key. You are the key. So in a lot of these different tablets, it's the key of this or the key of that. It's about your body. So you're taking the form your soul needs to know itself, yeah? Thoth commands them to search out the mysteries of the inner earth and learn of the balances of earth, the pyramid of force, which is composed of the essences, that force which causes atoms to cast off particles of themselves. Man must find the pyramid and stand either in body or projection before it, receiving its universal force. He commands them to enter the blue-lighted temple, which is in the great hall of Amenti, where the seven sit. To the great temple where the seven sit. What is the temple where the seven chakras sit? Your body is your temple. Man is both body and consciousness, but the consciousness, the flame, must absorb the body, the earth. Only through striving can wisdom be found, hidden as it is within darkness, and yet in that darkness the essence of the flame exists, and in this the true wisdom found. The kingdom of shadows was that octavian of vibration in which were placed those brought from lower cosmic cycles when the gateway was opened by man. This was the third or Polarian cycle, that the dwellers in darkness were men who loved material power rather than devote their lives to spiritual things. The beings called up were formless, as only the consciousness was brought up and the bodies must be formed here. They, like the elementals, being separated from their own cosmic consciousness and its creative power, were not able to combine with the cycle because they had not developed its primal curves. Only by the will of man and the extracting of spirit from blood could they take form. There's so much here that I think we are learning. This is why, you guys, this is why people, the church, don't want you reading this shit, because this is telling you what they're up to. This is telling you the scheming that they're doing, right? This is why bad guys love censorship. Censorship is either on social media or it's here in the truther community. How many truthers want the missing books of the Bible banned? How many truthers are pissed because I'm reading the Emerald Tablets because they're telling you they're evil? No, that's censorship. Censorship is the tool of the wicked. Everything should be available for you to read. In an honest and open and good society, everything should be available for you to read. If someone's telling you not to read this shit, they're wicked. Their heart's wicked because they're trying to censor it. All right. The masters drove most of them back through the lower gateways, but there were some who remained in a place built for them, coming forth only when the name was called and the blood sacrifice was offered. So Mr. Fox was telling me, because in the service to self, the dark pathway, they don't share their teachings. And so what these organic portals, these narcissists, these psychopaths do is they trick a higher being to come down through a blood sacrifice to get them to tell them the secrets of how to control man. Very interesting, isn't it? They took on the appearance form of man, but their actual appearance was the body of a man or a woman with a serpent head. They were able to cast hypnotic glances around them and appear to assume the features of man. It is this which forms the basis for the belief in the hypnotic powers of the serpent. They assume the forms of the leader who were secretly slain. They had all the appearances of men, but there was one word they were unable to pronounce. This was taught by the masters to the men, and it became a law that every man who had office must pronounce this word with the people once each lunar month. If he failed, he was killed. This forced them from the place among men, and gradually they were forgotten, but some still existed in their own place, unable to enter because man has forgotten the rites which summoned them. This word is Kenenigan. That's news to me. I mean, we know about these. We know that this is like, duh. We know this is going on. We absolutely know this. So, I guess there are more rites and rituals we're learning through Doriel here. You heard it here, an exclusive about some of the new stuff we're learning. The masters of either white or black magic may summon them, but only a white master may have the power to control them. They rule through fear, conquer fear, and they have gained light. Thoth state that he has seen to Santal and even looked within the sixth dimension. They move only through angles and never through curves. They project consciousness, which tries to penetrate the sixth dimension. Will infallible be attacked by the hounds of the barrier. Only by moving through space in circles can you evade the hounds. Only the circle is protection. Return to the body is of no avail. However, one does not stumble upon them accidentally. Thoth, yeah, exactly. I've said that. People are like, if you do yoga, you're going to hell. You're inviting demons in. I'm like, do you not understand how free will works? If you want to invite a demon in, you could just do it sitting in your home. Nothing you do is going to invite a demon in if that's not something you want. There has to be consent given. So if you guys are living in a delusional, deranged world where you don't think human beings have free will and consent, then I don't know what type of stupidity you came from. Because everybody has free will choice. A demon cannot possess you unless you ask it to. You cannot conjure up a demon unless you ask it to. Okay? Common sense ain't so common these days. Thoth had this experience in the past, and it taught him caution. He attempted to pass the gateway, and the guardians came at him. He knew the law of circles and angles and evaded them, returning to his body and completing the protection. The hounds of barrier do not literally devour or destroy the soul, but bind it from further manifestation until its cosmic cycle is completed. Then it may combine with the next cosmic consciousness. Even after completing his protection, he must be careful not to approach the sixth dimension in angular movement. Thoth repeats again and again his worrying about the movement through curves. He also tells them not to attempt to pass Sutel before the time, for few have succeeded. He also tells how to recognize the guardians. All right, you guys, that was super fascinating. I cannot wait to talk to you guys about that later on this morning on Aquarius Rising Africa. As you guys know, I skimmed ahead a little bit, but going into it in great detail, I always save that to do that with you guys here, so you're getting my first reaction. So yeah, let me know down in the comment section below what you think of that, and join us over on Aquarius Rising Africa this morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Time to further discuss this. I hope you guys have a wonderful morning, and I'll see you all soon. Bye.